Hello everyone! Welcome to Messy Hearts, where we help people who seek advice for their troubled relationships and lives. Listen carefully and share your experience down in the comments below to help those who seek it. We hope you enjoy. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let's head on to the first story. Story 1. The income difference between my boyfriend and I makes me uncomfortable. How do I tell him without being ungrateful? For the past 9 months or so, I have been dating a wonderful guy. There's zero complaints about him personally, but something that keeps coming up is that he's financially much better off than I am. For reference, I am an administrative assistant secretary for a large company. I manage a VP calendar, schedule meetings, do expense reports, process invoices. I make like $65K but in a high cost of living suburb and live with my parents due to some poor life decisions. My boyfriend works in IT security or something, makes almost 10x what I make. He's fully remote and lives in a beautiful house he bought during the pandemic but by himself. I think he's planning on proposing soon, and maybe I'm just overwhelmed by emotion and feelings of inadequacy, but I feel weird being financially spoiled so far and worry what it will look like later. And I know that's the most first world problem ever, but it makes me feel weird to try and keep up. Examples. He travels like every other week for 2 to 3 days. Because of this, he has a lot of hotel, airline, and Uber points. He offers for me to travel with him as it's usually on my remote days, and we usually extend it to the weekend or take a light work day. He only has to buy my flight since meals and his travel and the hotel are expensed, but I still feel bad. It's like $400 every other week. He buys me basically anything I show interest in. Like last month, I said one day I'd want an electric bike to run errands in our little downtown area, and last week he bought me one. And they're not cheap. Literally every weekend since the beginning of the year, we've had a date of some kind. We've done cooking classes, hot air balloon rides, sailing, fancy restaurants, football games, baseball games, concerts, horseback riding, like it's a lot. And he plans it all. I couldn't afford 1/10 of this. He bought me nice jewelry about a month in and has gotten me on this whole capsule wardrobe thing, which has basically been an excuse to buy me really expensive clothing and accessories, but they're everyday stuff. I absolutely love it, but I feel very guilty about it. An admin should not have the wardrobe I have. I want to tell him to not offer me these things or to plan more affordable adventures so that I can financially contribute to them, but I don't want him to have to lower his standards for vacation or fun just for me. I think a lot of it stems from growing up in an upper middle class family and ruining my opportunities due to some poor life choices, and now feeling like I don't deserve nice things, but it just makes me feel like I'm never going to be able to thank him or return the favor. Do I just start turning some dates and gifts down? Or do I have a talk about wanting to do cheaper things solely because I want to be able to pay my share or at least like a quarter? What piece of advice would you give to OP? Let us know down in the comments, and let's move on to our next story. Story 2. My wife cheated on me 2 years ago and I forgave her after she signed a postnup. But now I found out she didn't give me the full story and am strongly considering divorce again with the benefit of the prenup. How can I learn to trust her again? My wife, Ella, 32, and I, 35, have been together for 7 years, married for 5. 2 years ago, she admitted to cheating on me with a coworker. I had always believed that cheating was a red line for me, and I was initially determined to divorce her. However, she did the work to regain my trust, or so I believed at the time. I also factored in the following, which allowed me to eventually move past it and forgive her. She confessed to me voluntarily. She wasn't found out and forced to tell me. It was one time at a housewarming party with the coworker. I remember that night. She didn't return home until 4 a.m., and I sent her several texts checking in to see if she was okay and if she needed me to pick her up. She normally doesn't like to drink but occasionally succumbs to peer pressure, so I was worried she might have been too drunk to drive. She quit her job after confessing to me. This was her own choice to prove that she was prepared to hold herself to better boundaries. I actually discouraged her at the time because I was set on divorcing her and was concerned that her lack of a job would mean I would need to pay higher alimony if she was unemployed. When I was 19 years old, I also cheated on my then girlfriend, not Ella, via a drunken kiss. Obviously, it wasn't as bad as what Ella did, which was full-on intercourse, But part of me felt like a hypocrite for not being able to forgive Ella, because my college girlfriend had forgiven me. Given the above, and the fact that Ella genuinely seemed remorseful, everything else in our relationship was great, and she was the most compatible person I had ever dated personality-wise, I decided to forgive Ella and not divorce her on the condition that she signed a postnup. She enthusiastically agreed. The postnup isn't overly harsh in my opinion, aside from affirming that our premarital assets won't go into the settlement in the event of a divorce. It also included an infidelity clause with the penalty of the cheater forfeiting our jointly owned home, the car, and alimony in the event of a divorce. The balance would also be split 60/40ths in favor of the cheated spouse rather than 50/50ths. We both had independent legal advice when this was drafted and signed. Fast forward to last month when I was contacted on Facebook by Alice, the wife of my wife's affair partner. She had tracked me down by going through Ella's social media. She told me that she had caught her husband, Bill, cheating on her and discovered their affair from 2 years ago after going through his electronic devices. She asked if I knew, to which I replied that I did, but I thanked her for telling me anyway. She asked what had happened between Ella and me, and I told her that we had reconciled. She said she was determined to divorce Bill because, unlike my wife, Bill had proven to be a serial cheater and never confessed to her. Part that has since changed my mind about forgiving Ella is the fact that she revealed that Bill and Ella had actually been having an affair for 5 months. I clarified if she meant an emotional affair, but she clarified that it was a physical affair and that they had hooked up over 10 times. In my mind, this makes the affair so much worse. It wasn't just a drunken night. It was a long period of planned and deliberate choices, and I feel like an absolute fool. This past weekend, I confronted Ella, and she admitted it. I asked why she didn't tell me the full truth, and she said she didn't believe I would have forgiven her if I had known. She's been trying to convince me that it's in the past, we've made 2 years of progress since, and it doesn't matter whether it was once or 10 times. She argues that her confession showed true remorse. But my current thought is that the omission shows that even in her confession, her main concern was protecting herself rather than respecting me as a spouse by giving me the agency to make a fully informed choice, not that different from never telling me in the first place. I am now strongly considering divorce again and relying on the prenup for a more favorable divorce settlement. She wants us to go back to couples therapy, but how would that even work now that I trust her even less than I did 2 years ago? Do you have any advice on this one? Comment down below and let's move on into the third story. Story 3. My girlfriend is upset because I chose my son's marching band competition over going to an event with her. How do I handle this situation? I am 47, have been with my girlfriend/partner, F49, for 7 years. We have a stable, loving relationship for the most part. I have 2 kids, S14 and D12, from my previous marriage. My kids spend summers with their mom on the other side of the country and the school year with us. My son is a freshman this year and part of the high school marching band. His first competition is on Saturday. We've had it on the calendar since the beginning of the month when we received the schedule. My girlfriend has plans to attend some sort of dance event the same night. I can't remember when she signed up, but she's still planning on going. I'm a little bugged that she's choosing this over coming with us, but whatever. She asked me on Sunday if I could go with her. I politely said it was important to be there for my son, and besides I had also signed up as a parent volunteer. She seemed to take it okay. She then called me at work this morning and asked again. She had asked a couple of friends, but none of them could go. She said stuff like, "He has other competitions, right? Meaning would it matter that much if you missed this one?" I actually would, and it bothers me that she doesn't seem to understand that. I tried to talk about it on the phone, tried to see if maybe I could make both things work, but she rather passive-aggressively said don't worry about it, it's fine, but I could tell it wasn't fine because she sounded quite sulky. She had been on me recently about making sure I was spending equal time with everyone, her, my daughter, and my son, because she feels like he's been the point of focus recently. In addition to band, he's also playing volleyball, so it's been a busy fall. I honestly make an effort to be there for everyone, finding time to give of myself to the point of wearing myself out. He marched in the homecoming game last Friday, which was his first actual time marching, and she chose to go to a baseball game with her friend. Now she's again choosing to do something else. I feel like she's feeling insecure about our relationship and are weirdly jealous of my relationship with my kids. I feel gross inside. I feel like if our roles were reversed, I'd be completely understanding and supportive, and whatever plans I had, I'd cancel to be with the family. I don't know what to say to her. There is a window Saturday night that I could try and go and spend part of her dance event with her. It would require quite a bit of rushing around on my part, but I'm willing to do it. I just don't feel good inside about this, and I'm upset that she's put this on me. Thank you for watching. All advice is welcomed and will help these people to resolve the things that trouble them. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let us know in the comments what you think. And never forget that your smile is your best feature. Wear it proudly.